So, hi everyone. My name's Josh. I'm with the Irish Aviation Students Association, where I'm the student engagement coordinator. And I'm here today along with Leah to give you a school presentation. So I'll hand over to Leah so she can introduce herself as well.
Yeah, so my name's Leah and I'm here also with the Irish Aviation Students Association. And like Josh, I'm on the engagement team as a student engagement officer.
So just an overview of how the presentation is going to go today. So we're just going to talk about our aims as an organisation, the aviation industry in Ireland and worldwide, the careers, which there are many high paid ones that you could potentially go into, and then our bit about ourselves, the events we hold, and finally we'll round off with a small bit about our main event, which we hold each year, which is our Career Expo. So our aims as an organization. So we're a voluntary organization, but these are our aims. I'll just focus in on one or two of these here. So empowering the next generation of aviation professionals. That is the likes of you guys in school who will go on to work in the aviation industry in a wide range of jobs, which you'll hear about now in a minute. And we look to bridge the gap between yourselves and industry so that you can network, find out the information you need about courses, jobs, graduate programs, scholarships, anything like that. Those are our main aims for you guys. So here we have just a video by the Irish Aviation Authority about the Irish aviation industry, and it has some really interesting facts and statistics that you might not know. So we'll have a look at it now. Right. So there might have been some really interesting information in there that you didn't know before. Some history, some facts and statistics, which just give you an idea of the scale of the aviation industry in Ireland, what's it worth to the economy, the amount of jobs that there are, some good things to know going forward. So Irish aviation leaders around the world punch above their weight. For such a small country, we are very well respected and recognized around the world. So if you take a look at these 5 people here, I don't know if you recognize any. I'll give you a few seconds to have a look through, see if you know any, and we'll have a look through. So at the bottom left, one that probably most of you will recognize is Michael O'Leary, who is the CEO of Ryanair Group. So he's a very well-known, outspoken figure, very well recognized around the world. On the top left, one you might not know, but it is Alan Joyce, who is CEO of Qantas, which is the national airline of Australia. So even on the other side of the world, we have Irish aviation leaders at the forefront of the industry. In the middle, at the top, we have Donal Slattery, who is founder and CEO of Aviation, which is a major leasing company based in Ireland. In the middle, we have Dalton Phillips, who is CEO of DAA. And on the right, we have Willie Walsh, who is former CEO of Aer Lingus and its parent company, IAG. So just to give you an idea of the Irish aviation leaders from around the world that punch above their weight. So we're going to talk about a few of the jobs here, and one that most of you probably have already been thinking of is being a pilot, flying. Some of you might have already considered about being a pilot. Pilots are responsible for flying the aircraft, the safety of all the passengers on board. Very well paid job. You get to see a lot of the world, so it's quite an attractive job as well. And we have a short video here of a day in the life of Ryanair pilot. So I hope that video gives you an idea of what a day in the life of a pilot is like. So you may now be thinking, I want to be a pilot. How do I get there? So a flight school is one of the main ways to become a pilot. So there's a few examples of them here. So we have Atlantic Flight Training Academy in Cork, and we have the National Flight Centre in West Dublin, and we have FDE Jerez in Spain. So you can contact all of them for more information about their prices, their training, etc. So in approximately a year and a half to 2 years, you can become someone who has just left school or finished a degree and never done any flying before to flying for an airline. So it's quite a fast process, the training. There's a lot of exams, theoretical knowledge, flying and simulator time that you need to do. Alternatively, a more competitive route are cadetships, where essentially an airline pays for your training and you work for them afterwards. You're bonded for a period of time. So the Aer Lingus Future Pilot Program is a very popular cadetship, historically run every year by Aer Lingus, where they take on sort of between 12 and 20 pilots, and they also do their training in Jerez in Spain. Another option available to people is the military, the Irish Air Corps cadetship, which is usually held every year. Again, very competitive to get into, and you're paid from the day you start training all the way through your training as well.
So aircraft engineers, just as important as pilots in the safeguarding of an aircraft, they're responsible for almost all the aircraft safety before and after a flight. An aircraft cannot leave the ground without a signature from an aircraft engineer, so they're very important in the life of a flight. So the different ways that you can get into aircraft engineering, if it's something that you're interested in, an apprenticeship is usually the main way to go and what people will do. Dublin Aerospace have recently announced an apprenticeship to get into aircraft engineering, and Aer Lingus also usually run one. Other than that, there are different degrees that you can do in university. There's one in UL, there's also one up in Belfast at the minute, and you can read the rest of them there. So there is a good few routes into getting into engineering if it's something that you're interested in. And there's just a brief video on engineering in an aircraft.
Yeah, I have a sense of pride when I see aircraft taking off or landing in the airport, because you know you've helped today and to get it where it is. I joined the Aer Lingus apprenticeship program in 2013 and I'll be due to finish in September of 2017.
The highlight for me going through the Aer Lingus program would be the on-the-job phases. A lot of the engineers here are very helpful, show you anything you need to know. It's very easy to go to them. That's probably the best part for me. I joined the Aer Lingus program in September 2013 and I'm due to finish this September 2017.
I found the process easy to follow, from the online examinations to the face-to-face interview. The whole process took around 2 months to complete.
The best advice I could give to someone is to actually look into the background of the company, the simple systems on the aircraft, as well as the theory of flight. That would definitely help.
Highlight so far is just mainly getting to know a whole new bunch of lads here in Aer Lingus, getting to work on aircraft and seeing them take off after working on them. Just in general, it's a nice place to work.
Definitely recommend anyone mechanically minded, enjoys problem solving, apply for the apprenticeship. It's very satisfying when you solve a problem under time pressure and the aircraft gets pushed back on time.
When you're working on them, it kind of gives you an idea of what goes on underneath. You know, from when you're sitting in your passenger seat, you know all the things that are going on around you, all the work that's been put in that day, all the people that help to get it to where it is going, from maintenance to fuelers to cleaners, catering, everyone. There's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes and it's great to be a part of it.
Definitely have to have a high level of concentration. All the tasks, no matter what, have to be done to the highest level. As well as that, you need to be good with your hands, have a mechanical brain and problem solving. That's also very important.
The working shift work is difficult, but it has to be done because all the aircraft are on the ground at night and work has to be carried out for the next day to get them serviced again. So there's always someone here to do the work.
My name's Owen Colopy. I'm an apprentice engineer with Aer Lingus.
My name is Sean McManus. I'm an apprentice engineer with Aer Lingus.
Yeah, so there's just a bit of insight into a day in an aircraft engineer's apprenticeship in Aer Lingus. So moving on from that, we have aircraft leasing, which is something that not a lot of people know about, but is actually a main factor in the aviation industry, especially in Ireland. 14 out of 15 of the top leasing companies are actually based in Ireland. So Dublin is regarded as the leasing capital of the world, which a lot of people wouldn't know or recognise. 50% of all aircrafts worldwide are leased out of Ireland and registered in Ireland. So it's a massive part of the aviation industry in Ireland. So there are many different routes to get into aircraft leasing if it's something that you're interested to. Usually master's degrees in university. So you can see there the Smurfit School in UCD has a master's degree in aviation finance. You'd get the ISTAT 2.0 accreditation in any of them kind of degrees. There's also various different graduate programs that offer degrees in aviation finance. So we have what you can see there, and there's also one in EY and PwC. So there's various different routes to get you into aircraft leasing, and it's also a very, very well paid job. So if it's something that you're interested in, it's a great route to go down within the aviation industry if maybe practical flying and engineering isn't your thing. And moving on from that, we've got airline operations. So that's kind of just the background, what goes on in the background of all airlines. It's the heart of all airlines. And to get into that, you can do the course that me and Josh are actually doing, Aviation Management in DCU. And there's also different degrees. There's one in two actually in Carlow, and a couple of airlines run graduate programs in it as well. So again, many different ways to get into that if it's something that you're interested in. They're not just the only careers there in the aviation industry. There's also many others. You can read them there, and focusing in mainly on two main ones, which would be air traffic control. There is a student controller program in Ireland that will be back up and running in the next couple of years, hopefully, where you would train to be an air traffic controller and do your simulation, all that sort of stuff. And you can also do it through the degree that me and Josh are doing. So Aviation Management in DCU in fourth year will offer a pathway into air traffic control, and if it's something that you're interested in. Another main one that people know is cabin crew. Cabin crew would be a lot to do with health and safety. You'd get a lot of lifeguard training. It takes 6 weeks to train to be a cabin crew, and in that you would get type rated, lifeguard training, first aid training, all that sort of stuff to make sure that you're fit to go for that. So if you are considering a third level degree in aviation, you can just see there that over the years, the number of people taking aviation degrees in Ireland has risen exponentially since pretty much recently, since 2006, 2007, up until 2020, it's been a steady rise. So there is a lot of students around Ireland starting to consider aviation degrees as their pathway. And there's just a couple of the degrees that are available in Ireland. So they are getting quite competitive. You can see the points there for aviation management. 476 would be a quite competitive course. Aviation technology in TU Dublin, so that's 350 as well, which is quite an amount of points. And then the engineering degrees you can see there again are up at 520. So it is competitive, but it's a great way to get into aviation if it's what you're interested in. If you don't think that the points will go your way, or if you don't know if it's something that you're interested in but want to maybe get a feeler for it, there's lots of PLCs around Ireland, and these three specifically in Rathmines, Cork are the main ones, but there are also many different PLCs that can get you into the aviation route if it's something that you're interested in.
So just to follow on from what Leah was saying about college courses there, this has been filmed in October 2020, where we've just gone into our second lockdown. But don't let COVID hinder your dreams of working in aviation. The aviation industry always bounces back. So by the time you're finished your degrees, it will be back up and running again. So there's great opportunities there for you. So just to move away from the industry itself and talk a bit about ourselves at IASA, we're a voluntary organisation. We're all students. We're all in third level education. We do this because we love aviation and we want to help other people realize their dreams as well. So we put on many different events throughout the years. You'll see a few pictures of them here. We have the Junior Aviation Networking events, JANs, where there are about 80 people. We get to meet over drinks and food with aviation professionals in different areas of expertise. We also have career slingshots. You'll see a pilot career slingshot there, where it's a more focused event on typical career. So pilots, leasing, finance, all those sort of things we hear from experts in the sector. We also have our symposium, which we hold, which is an event of about 350 people, which is expanding on the career slingshot to include all different professions. So from leasing, finance, pilots, engineers, all sorts of different aspects, which is a great event to hear all the different avenues that you can go down. And finally, our last event, which is also our biggest annual event, which is our Career Expo we held last year in Croke Park, which is upwards of 1,000 people, where you can get to meet face-to-face with industry experts from many, many different companies worldwide, from flight schools, airlines, leasing companies, engineering, you name it, we've got it. And it's a great networking event as well, to meet like-minded people and to get more information on how to realize your dreams.
So getting involved in IASA and why you might like to do that. So there's many different reasons why IASA is great for someone in college, either studying aviation or just interested in aviation. It's a great way to enhance your CV. Employers love different things like this, voluntary societies, different things really stands out to an employer. Also, networking would be a main one for me. you'll learn whenever you go to college that meeting like-minded people upwards in the industry will definitely stand to you as you try and get jobs or build your career in the aviation industry or just in any industry. Networking is vital. Also, making friends in IASA, it's a great way to meet different people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise. We're full of students from different colleges, different places in Ireland, so it's a great way to make friends and network with people that you probably would have never met otherwise. So what you'd want to do next if IASA is the way that you would like to go. So first of all, following us on our social medias. We do different giveaways and stuff on our Instagram, so that's IASA Aviation if anybody's interested in following us. Also on our website, you can sign up to our monthly newsletter, which will give you different insights into the industries, and also we do some job opportunities within the newsletter as well. And there you can see at the bottom, we're hosting our careers fair hopefully next year on October 20th, 2021 in Croke Park. If it's something that you're interested in, definitely visit us there and we'll be able to give you some more information on that.
So that's all we have for you guys. So thank you very much for listening. Do get in contact with us on any of our social medias if you do want to find out any more, and have a look at our website again, which is iasa.aero. Thank you.